Good morning. Today we're going to be talking about last night's game, Rockets versus the Knicks. Overall, it was a great game, but the better team won. And sometimes we're going to have that, but I'd like to see I'd like to see us start pulling out some of these wins in the near future. Maybe one or two of these games this year, and then like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. Comment, see what should be a goal for next year. Subscribe to me on YouTube, subscribe to me on Facebook and all the other platforms that we have this on. Like this page, guys. Like this page. Like on all my platforms, but subscribe to me on YouTube for sure. We had a great start to the game. Jabari Smith Jr. and Jalen Green. Shout out to y'all. Y'all got a new poster coming out. New poster coming out for Jabari and Jalen. Definitely got to see if I could get that in my phone for sure, for sure. There was a great start to the first half. They was playing a lot of great basketball, so great job to y'all. They started pulling away in the third quarter, but like I said, we definitely played hard. We played good. There was just some spurts that we weren't either getting stopped. It was a combination of us not getting stops and us not being able to score on one end. So, look, I would like us to play a full game strong, but sometimes there's going to be spurts where they go on runs. That's just basketball, so I can't be mad at that. I got to talk about Cameron and Mace for a second. Man, they were talking about there's no good players out here with good hair. Man, my boy Jalen Green was having a hell of a game. So there's one guy right there. I know they were talking about Jason Tatum. Maybe Jalen Green's not up to snuff yet, but I saw you. Shout out to Jalen Green again, man. I saw you defending those players yesterday, playing the Jalen Brunson. I saw you getting a couple of, you were getting a couple of possessions in guarding Jalen Brunson. So you're not hiding, man. I like to see that, man. I like to see that. You definitely got to get stronger, man, because then that's how you're able to go to the basket, get some. You getting in ones, but it seems like you just a little too wiry to play through some of this contact, man. And once you get stronger, you're gonna be able to really just muscle some people and dunk crazy. And it's not just gonna be all athleticism, man. You're gonna be able to put some people in the rim. So I definitely want to see some development from all the guys, but especially Jalen Green, because he has the most upside. Speaking of Jalen Green, what I would say is another developmental thing. You need to have a mid-range shot or another shot that's just as good as a layup. Something that can go in on the high clip just like a layup. Joel Embiid, if y'all watch the film from that 76ers game, he had that little elbow jump shot right around the free throw line. I want to say it's a 12-footer that was going in all night. That's his layup shot. That's what's going to take him to the next level. Jalen Green, you got to have one of those shots, man, that you can shoot every time down, that looks consistent, that looks the same, that's just as good as a layup. Find out what that is, man, and I'm sure you're gonna be able to take another jump. So find out what it is, man. That's gonna be that shot that's gonna be just as good as a layup, man. I also want to point out Ryan Hollins, the announcer, said a really good thing last night in the game. When Sengun is coming to set the screen, an adjustment for Sengun is you got to be able to know your personnel, some of the guys that you're playing with. So in that pick and roll, when Fred VanVleet is doing, when he has the ball and you're coming to set that pick, Sengun, you need to, you notice that Fred VanVleet waits for that screen, right, before he goes. Jalen Green, he wasn't waiting for that screen before he goes. And this is all credit to Ryan Hollins. I just want to put this on my platform because it was a hell of an adjustment. Jalen Green's probably antsy. I'm not saying that he needs to stop doing that because whatever he feels like he should have when he's having the ball, it's working. So let him do that and you adjust to him, Sengun. So maybe you need to screen the spot and let Jalen Green run his defender into you versus him waiting for you to come and set that screen, because then it's gonna be a moving screen every time and that's a turnover. So know your personnel, know some of these ball handlers, man, know what they like to do, what some of their tendencies are, and that's all chemistry. That's what I'm saying. We got to get better at our chemistry. That's all chemistry right there. You should know, as the leader of the team, Shengun, what certain players like to do, where their shots are, where they like to take. And they should know the same thing for you, where you like to get set up at, where you like to get the ball fed to you, whether you want it to be a bounce pass or you want it to be an overhead pass. So it's all chemistry. It's all things that we could work on over the course of the season. Overall, I do want to say it was a great game against the Knicks last night. The only thing that was wrong was we weren't making our three-pointers. Shout out to Fred VanVleet. You're going to have the game ball. You were leading by example yesterday, so kudos to you. You could definitely get the game ball, and I definitely want to give the special shout-outs to Jalen Green and Jabari Smith Jr. getting those posters last night. Jalen Green, man, you were close to getting that game ball. But Fred VanVleet seemed like he showed out in the fourth quarter, so I got to give it to him. Guys, we gotta start making steps, and it seemed like last night we did against the Knicks. We gotta start making steps to where we putting full games together. And I'm gonna keep saying this, guys. We gotta start making steps so we can make we can put together a full game. Chemistry is a big thing. We gotta get better as a team, chemistry wise. We play in some of the same. Our first lineup did really well last night, but our second unit and our first unit, they kind of play separately. So if it's either the first unit out and there's probably one or two players that come, like let's say for example, it's the second unit out there on the floor, and the only player that's out there from the first unit is Jabari Smith Jr. Jabari, that's just more responsibility that you have. Now you got to know more players, what they like to do, what are certain tendencies. Shengun, knowing certain people's tendencies, that's all chemistry right there. So if you need me to define what chemistry is so we can get better at it, knowing the other players, knowing your teammates' tendencies so that you can build off of that, so you can take that to the next stage, whether it's pick and rolls, whether or not where certain players like to see the ball, where their shooting pocket is. See what I'm saying? That's all chemistry. That's all. We got to know what people like, so that they can be better, so we can make them better, so we can end up putting together and stringing some wins together. What I do want to see in the next game, guys, I think we play the Pacers. Let me check real quick. No, we don't play the Pacers. We play the Jazz. So what I want to see, guys, and that's a very winnable game. I'd be disappointed if we don't win that game. I'm not going to say I was disappointed against the Knicks because shots just weren't falling, especially that three-pointer. But against the Jazz, I want to see us string together some stops in a row. Let's get 3 or 4 stops in a row. Let's do a streak where we can get 3 or 4 stops. And this is all on the defensive end. I don't have any offensive adjustments besides that chemistry thing, but I definitely want to see a couple of stops in a row, guys. We should be able to do that. We're a defensive team. We're a great defensive team. I definitely want to see some strides when it comes to the chemistry, and I definitely want to see some 3 or 4 defensive stops. So against the Jazz, I definitely want to see that, man. So I'll see you guys next game. Peace.